Hello, everybody. How's everyone doing on this October 5th? It's 2:20 p.m. Chris Wood here. Welcome to my channel. I am a 5-year revenge retaliation, full physical identity theft victim with 100% proof. I am a sex slave traffic victim. I am an injure, torture, medical blacklist, lie, cover up, false arrest, kidnapping, sex assault, attempted murder, identity theft victim with the intent to commit for revenge retaliation for speaking of O.p.p crimes, the human trafficking and the homeless sex slavery trafficking that was taking place in Napanee and other crimes at the Morningstar mission. Very seriously dangerous police who are criminally involved with doctors, justice of the peace, and mental health workers, along with their accomplices who are drug-fed, money-paid pieces of shit garbage, who are drug addicts, who are sex offenders, and who are human traffickers, sex slave traffickers. And each and every one of them are guilty of homicides and attempted homicides with and for O.p.p. Ex-chief or commander, year 2019, he drove a white Jeep Wrangler, had me shot on the corner of Bridge and Center Street, August of 2019, before he left Napanee. Staff Sergeants, years 2019, 2021, Shannon Cork, Robert Lucas, Dave Weiss. Robert Lucas, as a matter of fact, he once told me he could fuck me, kill me, get away with it. Money Badge Family Town Council at the time. There's Dave Weiss, there's Shannon Cork, there's Stacy, a mental health worker that was Napanee Daily Tea Company, now Kingston AMHS. There's Shelley Hafner. Huffner had me kidnapped May 27, 2021, under false pretenses in an attempt to shut me up for incompetency bullshit. Under the fact that she said I was not eating bullshit. She was never at my house. She was never in my cupboard. She was never in my fridge. And she did not know what I eat, how I eat, when I eat. That was bullshit. That was done in an attempt to get me kept through the bullshit incompetency. That was done in an attempt to shut me up. They got my blood and my piss. They left. That was done 24 hours after me asking for help with what has taken place with me. There's been lies, medical blacklisting, file falsification, treatment refusals, discriminations, and cover ups, having victims falsely arrested and charged, and cover ups to cover up, criminal negligent doctors who are involved with intent lobotomizing their victims, file falsifications, treatment refusals, discriminations, torture crimes, murder cover ups. Dr. Tatiana V., aka Margie V., name and file falsifier, medical blacklister. She's the one that assures crimes in Napanee against Stacy's victims and everyone else's. She is also guilty of giving away my original CAT scans to her girlfriend Stacy, and in return gave them to one Spencer Mills 14716, who is also involved, which wasn't named, and a Robert Kane 7224. But anyway, Dr. Joy Hadley, Dr. Barton, Dr. Pritchard, Dr. Waldron, Dr. McGregor are all criminally negligent and involved in co-committing and covering up with criminal intent. Ex-CEO Cubby Duck, he is criminally negligent in having me kicked out of the hospital, causing me serious lung damage. He is guilty of having me falsely charged in an attempt to cover up his crimes, his hospital and doctor's crimes. Patient relations. She is guilty of attempted murder with the intent to commit and cover up. She is the one that originally had me arrested falsely, and I believe it was conspired through O.p.p in an attempt to give me a record, in an attempt to deflect their crimes, and in an attempt to get away with what they've been getting away with and what they've gotten away with using their positions, badges, credentials, and everything else, plus the lies, the time buying, the cover ups, committing crimes and turning it back around, deflecting back onto your victims. Full skull deforming, full identity theft and changes, body mutilations with proof, and being called a delusional, hallucinating liar. Because of my medical file falsification, I have not been able to get medical help in 5 years. They've been trying to turn this around and make it look like a mental illness or a drug thing, and it has nothing to do with that in any way, shape, or form. It is 100% criminal. It is 100% revenge retaliation on me, and it has been since the beginning. The justice of the peace is also involved with obstructions, accusations, threats, intimidations. They're co-offenders, they're drug traffickers, they're drug lacers, the ones that are guilty of murders, attempted murders, sex slavery trafficking, drug trafficking, identity thefts and frauds, welfare pension, old age pensions, and disability frauds, elderly stalking and murders, one known as a Bill Wooldridge. He has many alias names. He has Bill Wooldridge, Bill Coolidge, Bill Delarosable, Stephen Mabin, James Bubbles, and Robert Cross. He is approximately 70 years old. He is guilty of criminal stalking my mother as well and causing her death, murdering her December 2020. He thinks that he and I were switched at birth, believes that he is Harry Potter, thinks that he is my dad and was stalking my mother and calling my mother mom. There is one Blair Frederick Hardy who has an alleged meth lab in Tweed, Ontario. The one known as Bill Wooldridge also is an alleged Hells Angels Ontario chapter captain as well, and he is the main pedophile sex slavery trafficker with him for ex-O.p.p chief, the one that had me shot in 2019. There is Blair Frederick Hardy. He has an alleged meth lab in Tweed, Ontario. He is guilty of identity thefts and frauds. He's guilty of stalking. He is guilty of torture crimes. He is guilty of welfare, disability, pension frauds. He's guilty of forgeries. He is guilty of insurance frauds. He is guilty of drug trafficking, and he's guilty of multiple homicides for O.p.p, the ones named. Him and Bill Wooldridge are the bosses. They are known as the Hardy Boys Gang of Napanee, and they are the bosses and co-offenders and the untouchables to these cops. $22,000 to have anyone arrested because they are accomplices and can implicate. There is also one Robert Berry. He is a truck driver. He's a sex slavery trafficker, and he is also a possible serial killer. Him and his boyfriend Robert. There is a Bert the Hitman Hustler, who is an alleged NHL hockey player for the Philadelphia Flyers and Hartford Whalers. He is a sex slave trafficker. He is a pillhead. He is a meth head. He is guilty of torture. He is guilty of being involved with my identity theft, which I can 100% prove and have proven. He is guilty of attempted murder, stalking, and attempted murder. Jason Gimpy Two-Step in Alstein. He is a crackhead. He is guilty of stalking. He's guilty of identity theft with the intent to commit identity and disability and insurance fraud. He is a drug trafficker. He's stealing laced fentanyl between Napanee, Ontario, and Kingston, Ontario, causing homicides, causing overdose deaths to be above suspicion, making it look like just another addict got bad drugs and overdose that nobody will be paying attention to, that has been covered up. He is guilty of attempted murder on me. There is Tyler T. Bag Lake. He is guilty of torturing and killing my dog Runt in 2023. He's guilty of being involved with my identity theft. He is guilty of torture crimes. He is Robert Kane, meth fed little piece of shit, rat informant. They all are. And he is guilty of attempted murder with intent to commit. There is one Ray LeBlanc. He is a child groomer, approximately 55 years old, lives on Dundas and East Street in Napanee, Ontario. He is approximately 6'2", and he is guilty of criminal stalking. He is a meth dealer now. He is guilty of attempted murder with intent to commit. They are all O.p.p sex slave traffickers. They are all sex offenders. They are all human traffickers and drug traffickers with a for. There is one Dale Hartwick who is now a rat informant aiding O.p.p for free speed and drop charges for a stabbing he committed against his wife's boyfriend a couple years ago. He is guilty of torture crimes, my identity theft, with the intent to commit homicide. There is his boyfriend, Tony Anthony Axel Rose Hearns. He is guilty of torture crimes. He's guilty of aiding his boyfriend, Dale Hartwick. He's guilty of being involved with my identity theft and guilty of attempted murder with intent to commit. These are the O.p.p drug traffickers, human traffickers, sex slavery traffickers, the ones they charge $22,000 to have arrested, once again, because they can implicate the lies, the time buying, the cover ups, arrest refusals, false arrest, kidnapping, sex assaults, extortion, medical blacklisting, treatment refusals, discriminations, file falsifications with criminal negligence and intent. This is how O.p.p are causing, this is how O.p.p and their accomplices and doctors are framing victims. This is how they are trafficking victims, causing identity thefts, injuring, torturing crimes. This is how they are committing murders, and they are having it covered up through the drug overdoses that they are causing with their accomplice pieces of shit and the other crimes that they are responsible for, and having it covered up through the doctors as other crimes to get away with it. Napanee, Ontario is a very seriously dangerous town, and each and every one of these are low-life homosexuals, and they're all involved in murders and attempted murders against me, my dog, throwing blood on previous addresses, death threats, being completely and totally changed my identity, complete total skull deforming in serious ways, and being called a delusional, hallucinating retard through fucking pieces of shit doctors. This has been going on with me for 5 years because of me speaking of O.p.p crimes. Once again, the human trafficking and the sex slavery trafficking. And it's too convenient that I am looking like a piece of shit named Jason Gimpy Two-Step Van Alstyne, who is actually approximately 45 years old, and I am 52 years old. He is well known to O.p.p. He is an inbred, low-life, obsessed piece of shit garbage is what he is. Now, if I can go through full physical identity theft to the point where my skull and my face and everything is completely changed, how many others is it being done to? And like I said, I do have 100% proof of what has happened to me. So this has nothing to do with drugs, how fucking these assholes, bastards are committing their crimes and getting away with it with their victims because they're using poor, elderly, disabled, causing homeless trafficking, and exploitation for monetary gain, but how they are getting away with it using their badges, positions, credentials, plus their false guise of law, their lies, their time buying is labeling their victims as being suicidal self-harmers and not true in any way, shape, or form. They tried that bullshit narrative with me. I am about life. I've been trying to save my life. I've been trying to save my identity and my bloodline, as I am the end of mine. Lies about long criminal record and history, which I certainly do not fucking have. I have no association or had no association with anybody prior to 2019, and me speaking of their crimes and then this beginning on me. Lies about long psychological record and history that is certainly not true in any way, shape, or form. I have no association with any of that bullshit. No mental health, no any kind of psychiatrist or any bullshit like that. So that is 100% lie against me as well. And this is another way, like I said, this is how they are getting away and covering up the fucking crimes that they are committing against their victims, while turning it around and blaming their victims for their crimes that they are committing. Sodomy, sex assaults, and doctors laughing in my face over it and then turning around and trying to have me committed for it because it was done by the one known as Bill Wooldridge and O.p.p Staff Sergeant. I've been going through this for 5 fucking years. And to the one that's watching, hello. How are you today? Oh, chat disconnected. What the hell? Okay, apparently I'm having problems with my chat today. I also have, besides the videos and everything else on my channel here, on my YouTube channel, I also have TikTok as well, which is Chris Wood Napanee. For my TikTok channel, it also shows a lot more pictures and videos too to show and prove. Plus my Facebook, which is Christwood, ChristWood on Facebook. I have now, since I've been shot, like I've had no surgeries either, but I've also have pictures of, I have, since my lung has been fucked on me, I have something coming up from my lung on my right side. It comes up through my chest, it comes up through my throat, and it will actually bulge right out, like it will seriously bulge out. And it will go up through the back of my neck, up here to the back of my head. And that is certainly not normal in any way, shape, or form. I do have pictures to show it. That's certainly not normal, and I've not had that prior to being shot. Serious spinal deforming to me. Mutilations. Here's just a few identity changes I've actually physically been through. And these are all me. This is what happens when you speak police crimes in Napanee. That's kind of hard to see. Here's other very serious ones. Those are just some of the physical changes I have actually been through. Right now, as I am doing this, I have absolutely no feeling on the right side of my head. I get complete and total hypoxia from my brain and my skull being seriously split and seriously deformed and seriously injured. I was sold, because of me speaking of O.p.p crimes, I was sold to the bastards who I have named, who are the co-offenders and accomplices to the cops. Each and every one of them are guilty of murders and attempted murders. And because I cannot get any medical help, I'm medically blacklisted. Now, obviously, I've said that, but because I cannot get any medical help, they've assured this against me. And I guarantee I am not the only one that this has been done to or going through it. This is how they traffic, framing, and are murdering their victims, falsely arresting their victims for pictures, prints, signatures, and everything else needed. And then they're buying time, their cover ups, their lies. One way or another, because I am the end of my bloodline, somebody has to pay for this. And you will pay for this. Blair Hardy, Bill Wooldridge, Tyler Lake, Jason Manalstein, Ray LeBlanc, Bert Hustler, Robert Barry, Dale Hartwick, Harry Hartwick, and Tony Anthony Axel Rose Hearns, all the gay, sex slavery trafficking, sex offending, obsessed, drug trafficking, junky, low-life pieces of shit. Back in 2019, when O.p.p Chief had me shot, it was done through what is called remote neuromonitoring. And that's why it's being covered up, because it's a nano microchip implant. That is what's been causing the destruction and mutilation of my body. This is how they are getting away with their fucking torture crimes, completely and totally deforming me, using it on me 24/7 for 5 years. This is how Dale Hartwick to me is getting out of drop charges for a fucking stabbing. I am not taking a fall for convenient mistaken identity because of what's been done to me. And anytime O.p.p wanna exhume my dad's body for DNA, I took steps prior to all of this to prove myself and to prove my identity and my DNA because of what's been happening to me. So I've taken prior steps to prove it. Luckily, I don't have $22,000 for arrest. But this is October 5th, 2024. After 5 years of revenge retaliation, Ontario Provincial Police ex-chief or commander is guilty of identity theft with and for the purpose of trafficking, framing, and attempted murder. Staff sergeants guilty of criminal stalking, injuring, torturing, sex assaults, attempted murder. Shannon Cork is guilty of attempted murder, criminal stalking. Dave Weiss, guilty of criminal stalking and attempted murder. They're all sex slave traffickers. Robert Lucas, guilty of criminal stalking and attempted murder. Oh shit. Stacy, the mental health worker that was Napanee Daily Tea Company, now Kingston AMHS, is guilty of criminal stalking, torture crimes, human trafficking, sex slavery trafficking, and using her girlfriend to medically blacklist her victims, guilty of attempted murder through. And Shelley Huffner is guilty of attempted murder through Bill Woldridge, through Blair Hardy, through Tyler Lake, through Jason Manolstein, through Dale Hartwick, through Tony Hearns, through Robert Barry, through his boyfriend Robert, through Bert Hustler and Ray LeBlanc. Never speak O.p.p crimes because now I am the end of my bloodline. I am a full physical identity theft, brain injuries, torture victim. Damages to me are finished. Alls I get in my head all day long is clicking, zapping, and shocking, and burning, and being completely numb, getting hypoxia, getting choked up, getting my lungs because of my lung only on my left side now. When I eat, my food goes to the left side or my right side of my body, not my left. So, and with me not being able to get to a hospital or do anything about it, congratulations. The main ones that have to answer and pay for murder with intent right now: Dale Hartwick, his boyfriend Tony Hearns, Jason Gimpy Two-Step Van Alstyne, Tyler Teabag Lake, Bill Woldridge, or the one known as Bill Woldridge, and Blair Hardy. They are the main ones. I'm not taking a fall for you, Dale Hartwick. You fucking low-life pedophile, sex offending, murdering piece of shit garbage. Be safe, everybody, because I can prove my identity theft and I can prove whom, how, and why. You speak O.p.p crimes, Spencer Mills shows up at your door. There will be homicides. Expect it. And everybody will get away with it. Remember, doctors are criminally and negligently involved with this as well.